line is, you'll not find an error on any of the vocals, any of the guitars, any of the, the drum tracks, the bass, everything. It just seems to be working better, if you know what I mean. It seems to just be, it's really tight, I think.
We know.
Don't we? Yeah, we do. And I think we've had lots of practice at it. But hopefully, you guys notice, or you can, understand where we're coming from when we do say that it feels better. This album feels like it's, I don't know. For me, I keep calling this one the one, because I think it's just amazing. I love the tracks, and I'm biased to it, but I do genuinely love the tracks. But I think it's just tighter all round.
I think
we just learned along the way as well, and obviously from my perspective, it's been a bit of a newer scenario that I've been put in. But just watching Jamie and Nick this time around, certainly looking from the outside in, it looks as though you can see the certain things that have maybe tripped them up for whatever reason in the past, or maybe they've even heard something kind of post-release or whatever that they've thought, actually, we're not going to let that catch us this time. So I think everything's coming together, and I think not that we were any less critical previously, but I think we're getting even more critical each time we do a release. So we're trying to find the fine balance between poring over something that's, taking days and days and days over something that maybe an average listener may or may not pick up on,
right,
versus making sure that it is right though as well. It needs to be right. We need to be happy with it before it goes out the door. So it's just trying to find that fine balance between the two. And I think we're getting better at that. We're picking up on things we maybe haven't before. And I think, like I said, the mastering piece as well all adds in. And when all that comes together, it does feel like it's becoming a better package each time, which is always nice to hear. Anyway, so.
The thing for me is, I don't think you would know that this was a home recording.
Not even close. I was going to say, when I heard this album, I agree with everything you guys have said. I mean, this album sounds very, very polished, and that's one of the things I really like about it. I mean, out of all stuff you've done over the past, 2-3 years, this, I agree wholeheartedly, this sounds the most polished, and it sounds really good. I really enjoyed this album.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're going to take a quick break, and since we were mentioning it, we're mentioning the video, we're going to play Ghost off the new NoOneSunn album, Ghost. Take this.
Extend to where
Right on. NoOneSunn with Ghost. Now, this one is just like intense, like right from the beginning, like that. Just the kind of hard driving sound, and it's what a lead off to the album. I mean, there was a smart idea to start with this, and actually, B and I played this a few weeks ago on New Music Saturday, right? B, it was about what, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a great tune. B, what's your thoughts on this one?
What I like, which is what I got from the EP, was all your tracks, because I said to you that I would listen to it from beginning to end, and they all sit together like old friends. I know I've said that before, but it just seems to work, and you have that kind of really polished commercial sound. And I know, well, you may not, but I mean, some bands hate that being said, don't they? The commercial side. But at the end of the day, it's a business, isn't it? And for me, it's very. I mean, I had to hold back because I was going to play your tracks on Sunday, and I thought it's overkill. I can't. I've got to go. There are other bands out there. I'll just look like I'm, favoriting people. But I will play them again, and actually sometimes having that break, because you'll be played on this, and then in a month's time I can play your track then, and it's sharing it with a different kind of audience. But it is that production side, and if you're doing it yourselves, rock and roll to you, because that is really impressive. And as Brian said, you've kind of learned so much, haven't you, through what you've done and being critical of yourselves, and you sound as if you know what you're doing, and you're criticising each other. I don't know if you have outside people come in and sort of say what they think, but do they?
Not really. I mean, I think I'll to my missus or something like that, or there's a couple of people like Tim, who's going to be stepping in and bass for us later this year. I'll fire stuff to him and say, what do you think about this? Because I know he'll say if something's crap or not. And I know Nick thinks that stuff to step on saying.
I said you need honesty. You don't want somebody saying, oh, you're amazing and we love you. At the end of the day, you need someone to say, actually, that isn't up to your normal standard, or there's this and that about it.
Yeah, exactly. I think most people, it's us three who are the most critical, I think.
Well, you're always your own worst critic, right? So.
Yeah, and that's kind of to the point I was trying to say before. We're learning where we do need to be really, really critical. We're learning when there's a point where actually we might be overstepping the mark here, and actually we're almost wasted time on something because we're being so overly critical. B, in terms of your point about being commercial, I can't speak for Jamie or Nick. Personally, it's too hard to try and be cool. We are what we are, you know what I mean? And if people like that, brilliant. If people don't like it, brilliant. Tastes, people have different tastes. People do what they want to do. You spend half your life trying to be like somebody else, try to be the cool kid that's on the corner. Just be yourself, and I think that's all we're trying to be. And if
but I am cool.
I'd argue that.
Can I just tell the listeners that through the whole of that track, Jamie was being very naughty.
Being naughty.
Jamie's got a glass of wine.
Scare me with a handmade ghost, and it's great. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that.
Yeah, but that's not good. A ghost thrown on a piece of kitchen towel isn't really that naughty. Unless that's naughty where you come from, then it's.
Yeah, but what you're holding up the kitchen towel with? That's the thing. So anyway, going back to, can we just talk about me being cool? Because I'm that cool. I'm actually sat on the bed in my pajamas. I'm that cool. I want to reiterate I'll go back to the commercial thing, right? So I agree, B. We are the sound we've got. I think this album is very commercial. But you know what? It's like I say, it is a business. For us, ultimately, we've always said we do not, and we did try and do this. So I've always wanted to be this cool guy who, an indie rocker, and it just doesn't work. We record in a way that actually, do you know what? At the end of it, and me and Jamie have always said this, and I think Craig's on board with this as well. It's all about the end product. So if we do something and say, I want to put this screaming riff in there, Jamie's like, no, that's not us. We take it out, and at the end of the day, it's all about what we end up with. but what we end up with in the finished masterpiece, should we say, if we love it, then, happy days, because it is a business, but we're ultimately creating something that we love as well. So we're trying to entertain people and get people on board with what we do, but I think you've got to first think about, actually, do I like it? Would I listen to that? Would I buy it? My girlfriend is an indie. When I first met her, she was jumping about to Mr. Brightside in a local nightclub near us, and she's my biggest critic. She will tell me to shut up when I'm playing guitar or recording vocals, but she's a great critic. She's very honest, which is what we need. But being commercial, don't think it's a bad thing. Trying to be cool, that you just like Craig said, you've got to just be who you are, and that's it. Because at the end of the day, I've got kids and stuff. I'm not out drinking all the time, and getting Larry and all that palaver. It's just I am who I am, and that's it.
Well,
the main thing we've had from the get-go is, so long as we're happy doing what we're doing, that's the main thing. We're pleasing ourselves mostly.
Well, and
if we want to put out a trance track, we will. So if we all like it, think, I really like that. We'll stick out a trance track. Whatever we like, we like. Whatever we do,
I want to be able to, in however many years in the future, be able to find the digital copies of this thing and fire it up on my old MP3 player that nobody has anymore, and think, actually, I'm still proud of that. That was still really, really good, and I can still feel the vibe that we had at the time of recording that. And I think if as long as I can do that, I'm more than happy with the end product.
Yeah, it's about having fun, and there'll be no MP3 players in a couple of years, dude. It's going to be holograms.
Yeah.
That's it. Everything will be holograms.
So, will that make you cooler?
No, because I can't be any cooler. If you saw the pyjama bottoms I've got on, seriously.
Well, I saw
I've
them
got a hole in my knee.
Pyjama bottoms on, Nick.
Well, you told me you made me put them on. Anyway, I am cool. That's it.
But the biggest thing is the fact you guys are sticking true to that stuff, just because these days, and has been for a while, everything is so superficial, and it's annoying. So I mean, essentially, it's just fads, like in one day, gone to here today, gone tomorrow, sort of thing.
Do you know what it's like? People saying, right? Whenever you talk about music, the one thing that really grates on me is like people say, or if you talk about, like, Kings of Leon is a great example, right?
Right.
Everybody claims to love Kings of Leon before they went commercial. Yeah. So commercial was Sex on Fire onwards.
Right.
Yeah. However, all these people who say, yeah, I used to like Kings of Leon, but I don't anymore, don't listen to the new tracks, they will still have all their albums and they will still know all the words. It's just about being seen as being cool. So saying that you don't like somebody, like a band,
right,
before they went commercial, is just trying to be cool. That's how I see it anyway, because I know lots of people who do that. Yeah. And that's how I see it. But it's I think it's stupid sometimes. But anyway.
Fair enough. And the one thing, just before we move on to the next track here, is just that at work they have one of it's like they have these radio stations everywhere, but it's the only time I actually listen to the actual radio. And it plays just like more like Billboard kind of top 40 stuff, and it just drives me crazy to the point you want to shoot yourself, right? Because you've heard the song like 20 times throughout a span of 8 hours. But some of these